old Nintendo gamer.
And son.
We had our big Zelda podcast, which was in episode 63, which was split into two episodes because we talked so much about Zelda. But there's something we didn't talk about, and Dennis from the N-E Café thread at the N Europe forums there has dropped us a listener question, just like you can. Get over there and ask a question like this one. Thank you, Dennis. We've seen Link in Soulcalibur. We had Hyrule Legends, which is a Warriors type game. We've got a crossover with Cadence of Hyrule. Where would you like to see Link or Zelda appear in a crossover with? Now, what has Link been in the past? Spin-off games-wise, yes, he's appeared in Mario Kart, Smash Brothers, obviously, Hyrule Warriors, Crypt of the Necrodancer, like Dennis says. But he's also popped up as a fighter in Soulcalibur 2 on the GameCube there. Link's Crossbow Training was a kind of spin-off game. Those two spin-off games with Tingle, freshly picked Tingle's Rosy Rupee Land, and this has got to be the best name ever, Ripened Tingle's Balloon Trip of Love, which we never saw in the West. He's also had some paraphernalia from Zelda there in Animal Crossing. I didn't know this because I never had the Donkey Konga bongos or the game itself, but some of the Zelda songs appeared in Donkey Konga. Greg, did you bop your congos and bongos rather to some Zelda tracks?
I must have done.
I was unaware of that completely. And in Super Mario RPG, apparently if you go to the Rose Inn and sleep at the Rose Inn, Link will be sleeping in the bed next to Mario. And if you attempt to talk to Link, he will, dan, 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 the kind of Discovery Zelda theme will play. He's obviously been in Super Mario Maker 2 recently, Twilight Princess Picross, Tetris DS had all Nintendo stuff and franchises, so Zelda was one of them. WarioWare has some games with Link and Zelda in. Nintendo Land had the Nintendo sword-slashing Zelda Battle Quest there. And Street Past Me Plaza had some Zelda stuff. But throwing those all to one side, Nick, what would you like to see Link or at least the Zelda franchise appear in? Kind of a new game.
I don't know. It's quite a hard question to answer. I think they've done quite well with what they've got so far. I think Link's Crossbow Training needs a sequel.
Yes.
Because I enjoyed that game a lot on the Wii. I think Cadence of Hyrule was great. I thought that was... It was Cadence... It was Crypt of the Necrodancer set in the Zelda world, really. Just using Hyrule as the location, basically. And the music and stuff, which was fantastic. The soundtrack was great. I think it would be good to see another appearance of Link in a fighting game. I think if you ever wanted to sell Soulcalibur, Dead or Alive, or Tekken on the Nintendo platform, putting Link in it would be... We saw, I think Soulcalibur 2 was the best selling on the GameCube, wasn't it?
Yes.
Over the Xbox and the PS2.
Well, was Ganondorf in the Soulcalibur 2 as well?
No.
Was he? No, he wasn't.
No, just Link. And it helped that he had one of the best movesets in the game as well. Actually, I loved using Link in Soulcalibur 2. I would like to see a couple of things. I would like to see a Zelda game in the style of Fire Emblem as a strategy RPG. I think like the Warriors games are great, but I think that would work. I think, being sort of taking the sort of idea of the Warriors game where you have all of these characters, but instead of just having mindless combat, having it as a strategy RPG in the style of Fire Emblem.
Would you have all those kind of interrelationships and all that? And excuse me, princess.
Well, you could, I suppose. But for me, it would just be the gameplay. I think I wouldn't like to see Mario Kart 9, to be honest. I would prefer them to go down the Smash Brothers route and have like a Nintendo All-Stars car. And then you could have like quite a lot of stuff from Zelda in that. A few races around, Dragon Roost Island, for example, or, Hyrule Field. I think that would be great. And also it would give them a chance to... Because, people... When something comes to Smash Brothers, it always instantly increases its popularity, like Fire Emblem, for example. And I think if they did the same with Mario Kart, you could, stick in Captain Falcon and stick in like Lilac Wars and stick in like other Nintendo franchises that haven't been around for a while, like Wave Race, Chibi Robo, all this stuff. And I think it would increase interest in them and hopefully would, like Smash Brothers did with Fire Emblem, give them sort of another chance. Nintendo we might take a chance and we'll make a sort of a port of an old game to the Switch and see how it sells. And then when people have seen it already in Mario Kart, they think, oh, it's that character from Mario Kart. So I think that's the best option. I mean, that doesn't need to work with Zelda because that's already hugely popular, but I think a Nintendo Kart would be way more interesting for me than Mario Kart 9. I'm not desperate for that at all, Mario Kart 9. I know some people are really keen for it, but for me, 8 is perfectly accessible for me. But I don't know, really. They seem to have done well with just, like even Picross was fine. Nice music, Twilight Princess theme. Like I said, Cadence of Hyrule, Warriors games. Everything seems to fit quite well. And I don't really think
that's it. It's got to fit, yeah.
I do think a tactical RPG would work. And a racing game, but not just Zelda, obviously. They would be my two sort of main choices.
I've got my kind of eye pinned on more cameos, basically, like your idea with Mario Kart, having a kind of cameo in that, and then but other Nintendo franchises. Greg, anything from you?
I wonder how Link would look on a jet ski.
That was one of mine. But forget the jet ski. Let's have a wave race spin-off with sailing boats, Wind Waker style.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not really sure about this here because after you list off your all those games that obviously like Link or the Zelda franchises made an appearance in, it's like wow, it's almost to the point of like overkill at times. But like you say, like most of the games probably make sense in a way. And Link being in Soulcalibur certainly made me pick up Soulcalibur. As somebody who's not into fighting games really, that sold me on getting the game. And I actually really, really enjoyed Soulcalibur 2, and it's probably one of my favourite fighting games. Although having said that, I had briefly played the first Soulcalibur on the Dreamcast when a fella brought it into school one day. And so I already kind of knew about the franchise and knew it seemed like a decent fighting game. When I was playing through Dark Souls Remastered a few years ago, I kind of thought I wonder what it would have been like with Link as one of the playable characters, or at least an outfit or something.
With an amiibo, yeah.
Yeah. Because obviously we've seen Link costumes appear in Bayonetta and Tekken Tag Tournament 2 on the Wii U. It has a few Nintendo character costumes in it, and for some reason that makes my son want to play it as well, because sometimes he wants to play a fighting game with Paul Phoenix has Mario hat and nose and stuff. Alright, fair enough. But as for games I'd want Link to appear in, I can't really think of that many, and I sort of thought about my general dislike of Link's Awakening, but liking the graphics in a way, and they're not a million miles away from Captain Toad. And I sort of thought about the example, that last labyrinth there, obviously Captain Toad can't attack in any of the games, but you can pick up that pickaxe type thing, which does for 5 or 10 seconds or whatever, and lets you go around and hit everything. I kind of thought well, if you could scan in a Link amiibo and use Link so we could break blocks or whatever, or hit enemies, it would change up those levels a wee bit, and it would in a way it would be an easier mode, an assist kind of.
Funky Link mod.
Yeah, apart from that, I don't really know.
I still want my Face Raiders cross-links crossbow training AR device that I mentioned when we were talking about the Mario Kart AR device there. And it can basically be linked to the gyro to move up and down, and then left and right as well. So you can do a 360-degree motion and look up and down, and you play an A. And then I thought, wait there, if there's an AR camera linked shot to Link, and then as you rotate around, you'll be seeing the back of your head, which would be a very strange thing in a game. But yes, I would love to see something like that. Anything linked with that kind of Link's crossbow training. With rhythm game. Yes, we mentioned Donkey Konga, but something along the lines of what Theatrhythm did for Final Fantasy. Because Zelda has a lot of diverse music throughout its entirety of its history. Something like that, putting all the music into one game and playing a rhythm game. Add an ocarina like Guitar Hero to some levels. Who knows? Turn your Switch into an ocarina. Turn your we call it Joy-Cons. Little mini ocarinas there.
In a way, like with me being like pretty much sick of the main Mario theme tune, particularly in the NES ones, I'm pretty much the same with like the main Zelda theme as well. Like I'm sick of hearing it.
So that's not for you. You can listen to me on Old Nintendo Gamer and Son playing it when it comes out. How about an open world? Because I thought, how can I annoy Greg? I thought, well, he doesn't like his open world Burnout, so let's have an open world horse riding game with Link running around on a horse instead of a car. And then those cameo things kind of popped up into my head, and it's like, right, yes, Wave Race. Okay, Link can be in Wave Race, but in his boat, as in Wind Waker. Link can be in a 1080 game, shield surfing down the hills instead of using, a normal kind of snowboard.
100%.
Link can be in a Pilot Wings game here, using his paraglider instead of it's just, you can stick him in anything, to be honest. But like you've mentioned, boys, don't milk the franchise, which we'll get absolutely sick of it, won't we?
If it's going to bring those other franchises back, I am all for it.
100%, yeah.
And carrying along that line as well, like Mario Golf. Yeah, why not have Nintendo Golf? Link with his Master Club, Bonk, it looks like a Master Sword. Whatever. Mario Tennis could have added him in. Arms could have added him in, but instead of having arms, he's got the hook shots instead. Pretty much any fighting game, like you've said, you could stick Link in any fighting game and he'd be okay, including arms. But
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, stick him in there. Decapitate Link. You could even be in a Punch-Out cameo, bring Link in a Punch-Out, and Ganondorf as a kind of one of the enemies there. And was he? Because Nintendo Strikers, we could have a Link Zelda team, couldn't we? But other than that, yes, I'm stumped as well. As for an original IP taken from an indie game and then add in Link, just like Cadence of Hyrule did, I'm not that fussed about.
Enter the Gungeon.
Yeah. A top-down twin-stick shooter featuring Link. Diablo style.
There's so many indie games that are sort of 16-bit Zelda rip-offs, aren't there? That it would work with.
Yeah.
Like, what's that? Moonlighter as well is basically a dungeon crawling Zelda game.
It is basically a dungeon crawler thing, yeah.
Yeah, so I would like to see a new 16-bit Zelda with a new approach with the art style of Link's Awakening. I think that would be good.
Instead of a remake of Link to the Past or whatever, chuck a new game out.
I would prefer a new game, or at least remake Zelda 1 or 2, but update it a lot and bring it into sort of,
a lot.
Yeah, bring it into the sort of more modern era. I'd love a remake for from Zelda 2. Just make it a little bit more accessible and tweak the gameplay a little bit, but keep the sort of ethos the same, sort of 2D dungeons and stuff like that, 2D combat. I think that would be great.
Yeah, they could refine that 2D combat as well to something along the lines of Smash Brothers or something like that, something more refined that could be far more playable. Any other ideas, boys? I see Greg looking at his collection back there to see if there's anything.
I think we're all kind of expecting like Mario plus Rabbids 2 to maybe be announced like this year or next year or something. Maybe they could do like a Link plus Rabbids or something.
Oh god.
It sounds absolutely
DLC
horrible.
pack or something.
Sounds horrible. It's not something I would want, but it's an option.
It is an option. We saw a Donkey Kong DLC pack there for the Rabbids, maybe a Zelda kind of chibi Zelda pack as well, set in that kind of Link's Awakening style. I've still got to play through XCOM, so even if Rabbids 2 did drop, I don't think that'll be for me.
No.
So that was a much shorter big topic this week. We've had a bumper news and a shorter main topic. Thank you for the question, Dennis. And if anybody, like I said earlier, has a question for us, get over to the N-E Café thread at the N Europe forums and ask away. We will surely stack all those listener questions up for the coming weeks and answer them one at a time. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give us a like if you've enjoyed our content. You can also check out our other great content on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and the N-E Café podcast from all good podcast providers. Just follow the links in the description below.